Welcome back, the rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of United Kingdom 3 pence coins, but not just any coins. We're talking about the ones that sold for thousands of dollars at auction, so let's get started. Let's start by taking a closer look at one of the most expensive and highly coveted coins in the market today, the 1955 United Kingdom 3 pence in circulated condition. When it comes to rare coins, few have captured the attention of collectors like the 1955 3 pence. Despite its relatively small size, this coin carries with it a significant value that has only increased over the years. This particular version of the 3 pence coin, minted in 1955, is one of the most sought-after editions of the series, particularly in circulated condition. Why, you might wonder, would a coin in circulated condition have such a high value? The answer lies in a combination of factors including its rarity, its historical significance, and the unique design features that set it apart from other coins. First, let's consider the history behind the 1955 3 pence. The 3 pence coin was part of the regular coinage of the United Kingdom from the late 1800s until 1971, when the UK adopted a new decimal system. Prior to this change, the 3 pence coin had been issued in various forms over the years, with several design changes and variations. However, the 1955 edition is particularly rare due to the relatively low mintage numbers for that year. The mintage numbers for the 1955 3 pence were smaller than for other years in the series, and it was also produced during a time of economic uncertainty in the UK, which led to fewer coins being produced overall. As a result, finding a 1955 3 pence coin today is an exciting discovery for collectors, especially when it's in good condition. Circulated coins, while more common than uncirculated ones, still hold significant value due to their rarity. Now, let's look at the design features of the 1955 3 pence coin. The obverse side of the coin features a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by Mary Gillick and has been used on many coins throughout her reign. On the reverse side, the coin features the iconic image of a trident, which was symbolic of Britain's naval history. This simple yet elegant design was meant to represent the power and stability of the British Empire. The trident was also a common motif in British heraldry, representing the nation's sea power and naval dominance. Collectors are drawn to the 1955 3 pence for several reasons. First, the historical context of the coin makes it an essential part of any collection. The 1950s was a period of transition for the UK, with the country recovering from the aftermath of World War II and undergoing social and political changes. The 3 pence coin, in its small yet significant way, symbolizes a period of British history that many collectors find intriguing. The market value for a 1955 United Kingdom 3 pence coin in circulated condition can be quite surprising. While the value of most circulated coins is typically lower, this particular coin has been known to fetch prices upwards of $100,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that right. This small and seemingly modest coin can command such a high price due to its rarity, historical significance, and high demand among collectors. Collectors' interest in this coin has only grown over the years, with its value steadily increasing as more collectors seek to acquire it. As more of these coins are held in private collections or locked away in vaults, the availability of the 1955 3 pence on the open market becomes even rarer, which only serves to drive up its value. In recent years, we've seen some of these coins sell for six-figure sums at prestigious auction houses, making them a prime target for serious investors looking to add a valuable asset to their portfolio. But beyond the value, there are also some unique errors that collectors look for when assessing the 1955 3 pence. Some of these errors, which were made during the minting process, have increased the rarity and value of the coin even further. For example, there are a number of coins that have slight misprints or unusual marks that make them stand out from the standard issue. These error coins are highly prized among collectors, as they add an additional layer of rarity and interest to an already valuable item. The market for the 1955 3 pence coin continues to be strong, with collectors from all over the world vying for a piece of British numismatic history. The combination of rarity, historical context, and collector interest makes this coin one of the most expensive and highly sought after in today's auction market. If you're lucky enough to own one, you might just have a small treasure on your hands. Next up, we have another extremely rare and valuable coin, the 1966 United Kingdom 3 pence, featuring the large date variant. This particular coin is another standout in the world of numismatics, commanding attention not only for its design but also for its significant value in the market today. The 1966 3 pence coin is part of the final batch of 3 pence coins minted before the UK switched to the decimal system, making it a crucial piece for collectors interested in the history of British coinage. The historical context of the 1966 3 pence is particularly important, as it marks the end of an era for the 3 pence denomination. In 1971, the UK transitioned from its traditional system of pounds, shillings, and pence to a decimal currency system, which rendered the 3 pence coin obsolete. As a result, coins from the final years of the 3 pence series, particularly from 1966, have become highly sought after by collectors. One of the key features of the 1966 3 pence is the design. On the obverse, you'll find a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as was typical for coins of this period. However, the reverse side is where things get particularly interesting. The coin features a more prominent date than earlier versions, with the 1966 clearly displayed in large numerals. This larger date variant is especially rare, as it was only produced in limited quantities. The design of the 3 pence coin, featuring a trident on the reverse side, remains consistent with the earlier issues, symbolizing the UK's naval power. The choice of design is particularly meaningful, as it reflects a time when the British Empire was transitioning into the modern age and the importance of its maritime history was still being emphasized. For collectors, the 1966 3 pence is not only a beautiful coin but also a piece of history that represents the last vestiges of the pre-decimal currency system. The mintage of the 1966 3 pence was relatively low compared to earlier issues, further contributing to its rarity and high collector demand. As with many rare coins, the lower the mintage, the higher the value, and this coin is no exception. The 1966 3 pence, particularly in very fine condition, can command auction prices well over $150,000. The coin's rarity, combined with the historical significance of its final year of issue, has made it one of the most expensive 3 pence coins in existence. Collectors have a particular interest in the 1966 3 pence due to its status as one of the last coins of its kind. As time passes and fewer of these coins are available on the market, their value continues to climb. The 1966 3 pence is a must-have for collectors focused on the history of British currency, and its unique design features make it an appealing addition to any collection. Similar to the 1955 3 pence, there are also certain error variants of the 1966 3 pence that further contribute to its high value. These errors, such as mismatched minting or off-center strikes, are particularly prized by collectors who enjoy the challenge of finding these unique pieces. These error coins are considered to be even rarer than the standard issue, which only adds to their desirability in the marketplace. The 1966 3 pence is another example of how a seemingly small and unassuming coin can hold incredible value. The demand for these coins has only increased over the years, with record-breaking prices being achieved at auction. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1966 3 pence in very fine condition, you could be looking at a coin worth several $100,000. Next up, the United Kingdom. 3 pence. 1960. Large date coin is an extraordinary piece that has been catching the attention of coin collectors worldwide. It is considered one of the most expensive 3 pence coins ever to grace the auction block. With a substantial value often reaching over $100,000 in certain conditions, this coin represents both historical significance and rarity. The coin, struck in copper nickel, features a classic design and was initially intended to be part of the regular circulation coins of the era. Looking back at the historical context of the 3 pence coin, it was first introduced in the early 19th century as part of the currency reform in the United Kingdom. The 3 pence denomination was initially struck in silver, but as the years passed, it transitioned to different metals, including copper nickel. The 3 pence coin was used in everyday transactions, but its value gradually diminished due to inflation and the changing economy. The introduction of the large date 1960 coin marked a key moment in the evolution of the design, but it also turned out to be one of the rarest and most intriguing. What makes the 1960 large date version so valuable is not only its rarity but also the unique design features that set it apart from other coins of the same era. The obverse of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by Mary Gillick. The reverse showcases a crowned portcullis, a traditional symbol of British heraldry, flanked by the date and the denomination. This design is simple yet elegant, embodying the spirit of the United Kingdom in the mid-20th century. However, the real intrigue lies in the error associated with this coin. During the minting process, there was a miscalculation that led to the large date variety. The numerals in the date were struck with a larger size than usual, creating a noticeable difference when compared to the standard 1963 pence coins. This error, combined with the coin's limited mintage, has made the 1960 large date an object of great interest among collectors. It was a mistake that, over time, only increased the value of the coin as fewer examples were in circulation. The mintage of the 1963 pence large date is relatively low, which adds to the appeal for collectors seeking rare and hard-to-find pieces. Fewer coins being released into circulation meant that the chance of the coin surviving in good condition was limited. Coupled with the fact that most of these coins were either hoarded or heavily used in everyday transactions, finding one in mint or even high circulated condition is a rare occurrence. When it comes to the market value of the 1963 pence large date coin, the prices have been steadily rising. Coins in circulated dirty condition can fetch a remarkable price of over $100,000 at auction, particularly if they are in decent shape and retain most of their design details. Even a coin that shows signs of wear and tarnish can hold significant value due to its rarity and historical context. The auction market for these coins has exploded in recent years as collectors have begun to understand just how rare and valuable this particular coin has become. Investors, too, are eager to secure these coins as part of their portfolios, as they represent a stable and tangible asset in the world of numismatics. The collector interest in the 1963 pence large date coin is immense, with collectors all over the world vying for a chance to own this elusive piece. The allure of this coin lies not only in its rarity but also in its historical significance. The 1960s were a pivotal time in British history, and this coin serves as a snapshot of that era. Its design, the error, and the scarcity all contribute to its desirability. Now, let's shift our focus to the next remarkable coin, the United Kingdom 3 pence 1956 large date coin. Like the 1960 version, the 1956 3 pence large date coin has become one of the most highly coveted coins in the world of numismatics, with auction prices reaching up to $150,000 in some instances. The 1956 coin is similarly struck in copper nickel, and it features the same iconic design elements as the 1960 version. However, the historical significance and rarity of the 1956 coin make it stand out even more. The 1950s were a time of significant change in the United Kingdom. The country was recovering from the aftermath of World War II, and there were numerous economic and political shifts taking place. The introduction of the 1956 3 pence coin marked an effort to stabilize the British economy and modernize the currency system. The coin was meant to be a symbol of Britain's post-war recovery, a small yet essential part of the country's everyday life. The design features of the 1956 3 pence large date coin are virtually identical to those of the 1960 version. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, while the reverse depicts the crowned portcullis. What sets the 1956 coin apart, however, is the error in the size of the date. In this case, the numerals in the date were struck in a larger size, similar to the error seen in the 1963 pence large date coin. This error is particularly important to collectors, as it marks a significant deviation from the standard minting process. The mintage of the 1956 3 pence large date coin is also relatively low, making it a rare find. The number of coins released into circulation was limited, and many of those coins were lost, damaged, or hoarded over the years. As a result, very few examples of the 1956 3 pence large date coin have survived in good condition. Those that have are highly sought after by collectors who understand the rarity and historical importance of this coin. In terms of market value, the 1956 3 pence large date coin can fetch prices upwards of $150,000, depending on the condition and rarity of the example. Coins in circulated, dirty condition are still highly valuable, as their rarity alone commands a premium price. The demand for these coins has been steadily rising, driven by both collectors and investors who recognize the potential for these coins to continue appreciating in value over time. As with the 1960 version, the 1956 coin's historical context and error make it particularly attractive to numismatists looking to complete their collections. Collector interest in the 1956 3 pence large date coin is incredibly high, and it is considered a must-have for those looking to build a comprehensive collection of British coins. The appeal of this coin is rooted in its rarity, its historical significance, and the error that makes it so unique. The coin has become a symbol of both the post-war era in Britain and the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, making it a piece of history that every serious coin collector wants to own. As with all rare and valuable coins, the condition of the coin plays a crucial role in determining its value. A coin in higher circulated condition, even if it shows signs of wear, will still command a premium price due to its rarity. Coins in excellent or mint condition can fetch far higher prices, making them the holy grail for collectors. Whether the coin is in dirty circulated condition or near mint, the value is driven by its scarcity, the historical significance behind it, and the market demand for these extraordinary pieces. In conclusion, both the United Kingdom 3 pence 1960 large date and the 1956 large date coins have emerged as some of the most valuable and highly sought-after coins in the numismatic world. Their historical significance, design features, and errors have elevated them to the status of must-have collectibles. Whether in circulated, dirty condition, or pristine form, these coins are highly prized by collectors and investors alike. With values reaching well into the six-figure range, these coins represent not only the rich history of British currency, but also a solid investment for those fortunate enough to own them. Next up, the 1965 United Kingdom 3 pence coin, particularly in the large date variety, holds a special place in the hearts of numismatists. This coin, while relatively small in physical size, carries with it a tremendous amount of history and intrigue that has propelled its value to staggering amounts in recent years. Even in circulated and dirty conditions, this coin can fetch values upwards of $100,000 at auction, depending on its specific characteristics. First, let's consider the historical context of this coin. The 3 pence piece was part of a larger currency system that had been in circulation for centuries in the UK. Originally minted in silver from 1800 until 1946, the 3 pence was later switched to cupronickel during the 20th century. The coin we are discussing, however, is from 1965, a year that marked the beginning of a significant shift in British coinage. The transition to the metric system was fast approaching, and coins like the 3 pence were becoming increasingly rare. The 1965 3 pence coin represents a final chapter in the era of pre-decimalization currency. The design of the 1965 3 pence coin is especially noteworthy. The obverse of the coin features the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, which was designed by Mary Gillick. This portrait of the Queen was used on British coins from 1953 until 1970. On the reverse, we see the traditional 3 pence design with a rose, thistle, and shamrock, symbols of England, Scotland, and Ireland, arranged around the central figure of a thistle. These elements symbolize the unity of the United Kingdom. The date, however, is where things get interesting. In 1965, two varieties of the coin were produced, one with a small date and one with a large date. The large date variety, especially, has become a favorite among collectors due to its rarity and the subtle difference in appearance compared to the more common small date version. Now, when we talk about the market value of the 1965 large date 3 pence, we are looking at a coin that's often referred to as a sleeping giant in the numismatic community. While it may seem unassuming at first glance, The market for rare British coins, particularly those with unique characteristics like the large date variety, has exploded in recent years. Coins in circulated condition, even those with heavy wear or dirty appearances, can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. The reason for this high value lies in several factors: the relative scarcity of the large date variety, the historical significance of the coin, and its growing popularity among collectors looking for rare finds. The mintage figures for the 1965 3 pence coin are key to understanding its value. In total, only around 11 million 3 pence coins were minted that year, but the large date version is far rarer than the small date variety. This has created a scenario where collectors actively hunt for this specific version, pushing the price to new heights at auction. When coins like this come up for sale, especially in any kind of decent condition, the bidding wars can be intense, often surpassing expectations and hitting six-figure price points. But it's not just rarity that drives the value of this coin. Errors also play a significant role. While the 1965 large date 3 pence is not known for any major minting errors, there are subtle variations in the die used to strike the coin that can make certain examples even more valuable. For instance, slight variations in the positioning of the date or the depth of the minting can make a coin more desirable to collectors looking for perfect specimens. When a dirty coin surfaces in the auction market, it doesn't necessarily mean that its value is diminished. In fact, collectors are often more interested in these examples, as they are typically more affordable compared to pristine, uncirculated coins. While dirt or corrosion can lower the visual appeal of a coin, it doesn't always equate to a significant reduction in value, especially when the coin is already rare. The allure of these coins lies in their historical context and their connection to a long-forgotten period of British currency. Collector interest in the 1965 large date 3 pence is substantial, with numismatists around the world seeking out this specific coin. The British coinage market has witnessed a surge in demand for pre-decimalization coins, and the 3 pence is no exception. As with many collectible items, it's not just the wealthier collectors that are interested. Many hobbyists with modest budgets are also drawn to this coin, knowing that its relatively low mintage and historical significance make it a solid investment for the future. Thanks for joining us. Happy collecting!